Hey y'all, it's your girl Love Dawn. Thank you for checking out Meals for Moms. So today we're going to do a shepherd's pie. And that pretty much is a minced meat with veggies and a mashed potato on top that we're going to spread around. It's going to give off a crust-like illusion. And the pie comes in because it's in a circular format, which nowadays everybody do it their own way anyway. But it became because of the circular format and the crust on top that gave off a pie-like look of the meat and potato. So we're going to try it our own way, put our own little spin on it, see how it come out. Let's get started. Okay, so we got our pan nice and hot here. We're going to start off with some onion in a pan. Diced up. We're going to put some garlic. Y'all know how I feel about my garlic. I shouldn't have to say that no more. But I am. And we're going to put we're using ground beef. You gotta go ground beef when you're dealing with a shepherd's pie. You can do turkey and things for a lot of things, but for me, I think a shepherd's pie got to be beef. Or lamb, but some sort of beef. Okay, let me have to do something else because I can't get it out. Hold up. Here we go. So I'm gonna break this up and put it in a pan. And once I'm ready to season it, I'll be right back. Okay, so I got all the meat in the pan. So I'm going to start off with my basic seasonings, which is just salt, pepper, and garlic for right now. There's other seasonings, and I'm going to wait till I brown this a little bit more before I add any other seasonings. So just a little salt, garlic, and pepper for now. Then I'm going to show you about when I'm going to add the rest of my seasonings in this dish. Be right back. Okay, so the meat is cooking down a little. I've already added salt, pepper, and garlic. So now I'm going to add some paprika. This is not your average beef here now. You got to make it a little jazzy, snazzy is what we call it. So some paprika. Little allspice. Now allspice is strong, so you don't want to add too much allspice. Some cinnamon. And I'm going to add a pack of Sazon. And that's a Mexican, what we would use, or what we call seasonal. It's like a Mexican seasonal. We're going to add that in. We'll give that a stir. And when we come back, I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. Okay, y'all, so I just want to show you something real quick. You want to make sure that you break up your meat into very small pieces. It's supposed to be minced meat, you know, so some people will chop it up like this to make sure there's no big lumps in it. Also, because of the Sazon and the paprika, it's going to give your meat a little reddish color, and we're going to add ketchup and Worcestershire to this a little bit later on. So make sure you take a good look, and that's some of the reason why I wait before I add that, to make sure there's no pink in the meat, so you don't get confused once you add. I've only added one packet of Sazon. I'm going to add another one. Again, that's going to make it turn a little red with paprika. So I just want to make sure I got all of the red out of my meat first. So when I add it, I'm no way confused about if my meat is done or not. But we're going to pop it in the oven anyway, but just so I can show y'all that. Alright, I'll be right back, and I'm going to keep on stirring. Alright, so I drained off most of the juice, or all of the juice that I could, that was in this pan. Our meat is cooked down. I don't see any more pink spots. I'm going to add a little bit more paprika. My second pack of Sazon. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do about 4. 4 tablespoons of ketchup. I might go back and add more. Don't judge me. Lest ye be judged. I told you. A little bit of Worcestershire. About 1, 2, 3 tablespoons so far of Worcestershire. So I'm going to give this a stir. And I'm going to see if I need to add any more of anything. Looking at this right now, I'm probably going to add a little bit more ketchup. So maybe 2 more. Let me see. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of ketchup. I'm adding this. 1, 2, 3 more tablespoons of ketchup. 1, 2 more tablespoons of Worcestershire. And I think we pretty good with this. So after all this is added, well, let me do something first. Let me stir this, give it a taste, make sure it got the flavor I want, and I'll be right back. And I'll let you know if I did anything different. Give me 1 second. Okay, so everything in here, the flavor I got, delicious. Only thing I put in here extra was a little bit more salt, pepper, and garlic because we didn't add a lot to begin with. Because we just wanted to start the meat to cooking and simmering and getting all happy and merry. So once you get the meat tasting the way you want it to taste, we're going to add in our veggies. And all I have here is some corn, peas, and carrots. Straight out the can. If you got left, this is a nice leftover dish. If you got any veggies left over, put it on in here. And your shepherd's pie. So I don't really want any of the juice. I thought I drained it well enough, but I still see some in here. So all I'm going to do is put this in the pot with the meat. This is not seasoned. Straight out the can and drained. But the meat is so well seasoned. And then when we add those nice cheesy mashed potatoes on top, I think we're good. What you think? So I'm going to finish adding this in the pot. And I'll be right back in 1 minute. Alright, so we got all our veggies mixed in. And we drained off that excess juice. So the juice you see down here is from the veggies and the meat coming together. It's always going to be liquid when it comes out of ground beef or veggies, because that's just 2 things you can't get rid of. So we're going to add a little bit of a slurry, or without a slurry, we're going to add a little bit of a flour and water concoction that will make this into a little gravy. Only because when we pour this in the pan and we want to pick this up as a pie, we wanted to have a little, we wanted to be binded a little. So the gravy will bind the meat together just so that it's pliable. We'll be able to maneuver it around. So we're going to make just a very little bit of gravy, not real heavy. You see how already it's starting to thicken up? That's all we do. That's all the gravy do, is thicken it up so that we can just, use it a little easier and it's not falling all apart. Because remember, the meat is really minced up, which is good. We want it nice and juicy, but we just want to be able to move it around a little easier when we go to take it out of the pan. So we're going to add a little bit more of this flour and water mixture to this to make it a little thicker. And then we're going to move on to the next step, which is putting it in a pan with the mashed potato crust. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so our minced meat is sitting over there simmering. That gravy is thickening it up as the way it's supposed to. And what I'm doing right now is I boiled some Idaho potatoes, and they're now peeled and in a mixing bowl. So I'm breaking this up some just to give the mixer a little help so it doesn't have to do too much work. And I'm just going to mash these the way you would normally mash homemade mashed potatoes. Just a couple extra different ingredients to make it signature for a shepherd's pie. So I'm going to break this up and I'm be right back in maybe 2 minutes and show you how to mix this up. Alright, so we're going to start mixing it on low. Make sure you lock your mixer. And we're going to pour in some half and half. If it starts to lift up, it's okay. Once you get it a little less thick, you can add in other things. And you can turn it up a little. So I'm going to add a little bit more, half and half. And I'm going to get it the consistency I need it to be. And I'll be right back. Alright, so I had to cut it up a little bit. Once I got it thinned out some and it wasn't continuously like it was coming over the side, cut it up a little bit higher. You want it a little higher so that it can start to break up the potatoes better. If you saw that big ball, that means that it was getting thick again. Had to put a little bit more liquid in it, and we're using half and half. So until you get it as thin as you would need it to be, you continue adding more and more liquid. You don't want it too thin because remember you gotta add butter, we're gonna add cream cheese to this, and we're gonna add egg yolk. Okay, so I'm gonna now add in 2 egg yolks to this. And the egg yolk is just like we did for the gravy, so that it will bind the potatoes together a little bit more, giving it some texture, so that way we can lift it out of the pan a little bit easier. Again, we want it to be like a pie-like form. We're gonna add in some cream cheese. You see how it's already beginning to thin out a little bit more? That's the reason why you don't want to over put the half and half or cream or milk or whatever you have decided to use. We're going to also put in some butter. And that's about 4 tablespoons of butter-ish. Again, stuff like butter, salt, pepper, that's however you want it to taste. That's to taste. We're going to add in some seasoning. Look at some garlic. You already know. So don't worry about that butter. We can mix that up. If it does not break up in the potato, that's fine. We can mix that up. So some garlic. Pepper. This kettle here. Get one of them out. Salt. And cayenne. Yeah, cayenne in this dish. And a little allspice. Remember, allspice goes a long way, so do not over season with the allspice. So we're going to continue to let this cook down. To mix all the way thoroughly through. And every now and then, you may have to stop, lift up your lid here, and just check the bottom of the pan. Because you're dealing with potatoes, it'll stick together at the bottom of the pan, so just kind of give it a little push. Make sure it's all the way through. Here we go. So it's binding together really good. It's pretty much done now. I may let it continue to mix about another minute or 2. But other than that, I think we're ready to roll. Be right back. Alright, y'all. So we have our mashed potatoes here, nice and smooth. You see the elasticity here? That is so that when we put it in the pan and we put this on top of our minced meat, it's going to give a good stable crust. That's all the egg yolk is. Stabilizes. Stabilize your meal together. So I'm just going to take a little bit of butter. And this is what I do. I just like to put butter down the pan. Only because, you know, it may stick. It may not. Probably won't. But who's going to say? So what? It's butter in the pan. Do I got to tell y'all again? Don't judge me. Y'all should know by now. Lest ye be judged. So this butter is also going to give flavor and just give us a little wiggle room in case when we go to lift this out of this pan, it juices it. That's it. That's it. So once you get all the butter throughout here how you want it, you just paint it on. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's fine. So after you do this, let me move this out the way. We're going to go to our pan of meat. Y'all remember that nice, succulent deliciousness. So the gravy has thickened it a little bit, but it's still nice and juicy. But you can see the creaminess from the gravy. Give you a sloppy Joe look, but trust and believe. This here ain't no sloppy Joe. If you can smell this, one day. Okay. So we're going to put this in our pan. Maybe. Okay, yeah, I got it. We can do all the spooning and be all pretty. Y'all already know this meal's for moms. We about to get it done. Got it all in our pan here. You want it all out. Okay. This smells so good. I'm really serious. I'm not just saying that because I'm making a video. This really smells good. Okay. So, after this, we're going to ladle our potatoes. Give me 1 second. Alright, so we got our meat in the pan, smelling scrumptious. So we're going to take our potatoes. Now listen, we all know we ain't going to be able to spread this. It's going to be making a mess if you do it that way. So what we do is we're going to do some dollops to start. Dollop. Dollop. And we're going to just keep on dolloping until we can get the whole pan filled with potatoes. And then you add it where you need it to be. And not overthinking trying to spread all the potatoes all around this meat. Then your potatoes going to get all that red color in it. And listen, if it gets some in there, let it get in there. What it's going to do? Ain't nobody eating it but you and your family. But if we can, let's not. So we're going to continue to dollop all the way around until we get the whole pan filled with potatoes covering all of the meat. And then I'll show you in a second if I was successful at doing what I'm telling you to do. Be right back. Alright, so we have our potatoes covering the pan. Now look here. You see all this juice here coming up? Not a whole lot, but you can cover that up. Or you cannot. Because we're going to top this off with none other than some shredded cheddar cheese. So you don't, how they say, you don't get in the wash, you'll get in the rinse. There you go. Can't nobody even see that. Look at that. Done, done, and done. So we're going to pop this in the oven for, I don't know, maybe about 25, 35 minutes. For the fact that everybody's oven is a little different. And you just want to make sure that the potatoes have come together, got a nice crust on top. Because the meat is done, the potatoes are done. So it don't take very long. But you want it to merge together properly. So we're going to pop this in the oven, 25, 35 minutes. If it's anything different, of course, I'll let you know when we pull this out. Be right back. Alright, so it's been in for about 35 minutes. So we're going to take it out nice and slow. It's happy though, y'all. Woo! You see how it's coming around the sides? This looks so good. Let me tell y'all something. I cannot stress to y'all how this smells. Now let me be clear. The reason why it looks like this is it's intended for you to be able to eat it right with a spoon. If you had individual cast iron skillets or little small like a souffle bowl, some people use for individual people, so you wouldn't have to cut into it. That would be the ideal way to make this. But we have it in a big family style pan. That's fine too. So I'm not gonna cut into it right now. We're gonna let this rest for a few minutes. It's taken out the oven. We're gonna let it cool. You don't want it cold, but you want it nice, still hot, but not piping hot like this. Because if you go into it right now, the mashed potatoes are gonna spill everywhere. So we're gonna let it sit for about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna let you know, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna get it out and put it in the bowl. Alright, so we let this sit down for about 10 minutes. We let this sit down for about 10 minutes. You can see here how it's already starting to flatten out some. You didn't want it really raised because that means that it was just too hot to cut into, and as soon as you would have cut into it, the potatoes would have spilled right out. So we're gonna try now to get this out this way, because as I told you, I'm used to doing it more in a individual style. However you gotta do it, that's what you do. So I'm gonna go see if I can get it out in this spoon here. Maybe this wasn't the best spoon to use. We're gonna see. Can you see here? Let me try to get it out as whole as possible. If I can't get it out whole, I ain't gonna make it out whole. Okay, now come check this out over here. You see inside of the pan here, you still have your meat and stuff like this. You got a whole big chunk of it out, but I just wanted you to look and see how the meat and vegetables are sitting right underneath the mashed potatoes or right on top of it. So I'm gonna sit this here for a second. Go here, and let's just see here. Right underneath, you have your mashed potatoes. You have your meat, your corn, your carrots. You cannot go wrong with this meal. Okay. This is really good. This is really good. If I would do this again, I would definitely try to use maybe muffin tins. We might use muffin, but even the way you still got to get it out. Something that you can actually take from the pan to that individual person so they can just eat it as a stew as they would. But it's not going to hurt. This is still fine. I'm going to keep trying to figure out another way that I can get it out to try to keep it as whole as possible. But if I can't, I'm fine with that too. Thank y'all again for checking out Meals for Moms, Shepherd's Pie. I'll see you next time. Okay, so we tried it earlier with the ladle and a bowl. So we're going to try this one more time with a spatula and a just a flatter bowl, lower size. And let's just see if we can get it out any differently. That's what this is about. Meals for Moms. This is realistic. We cooking here for real. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Y'all know what I'm going to say. Don't judge me, lest ye be judged. Okay. So let's see. No, that might not work either. Oh no, it might. Okay. Little more square side. Okay. What do y'all think? I like this way a little better. Flatter bowl. You can use a plate because it's not going to spill out. Flatter bowl here. You can still see the potato, cheese, meat underneath the way it's supposed to. I'm happy with the outcome. And garnish, little garnish, and we good. All right. Again, thank y'all so much for checking in. I'm about to eat dinner. Don't gotta be pretty for me. I'm good. That's just for y'all. See y'all next time. Meals for Moms. Have a good day.